So maybe you just got a Juki TL, or you've had one for a long time, or maybe you're considering getting one and you're curious on what the maintenance looks like on a semi-industrial sewing machine. Maybe it's a little bit intimidating. Well, in this video, we're gonna go over how to maintain your Juki TL, how to clean it, how to make sure it lasts forever. Let's get started. Hey guys, it's David from GG's Fabric Shop, home of Juki and Janome Junkies. And in today's video, we're gonna be going over maintenance on your Juki TL. We're gonna start off with oiling this machine and showing you all the do's and don'ts. And then we're gonna clean this machine and show you how often you should be doing it at home and how often you should be bringing it in for a professional cleaning. So that way we can make sure we're maintaining our Juki TL semi-industrial machines to the top maintenance plan possible. Now we're gonna structure this video with little timestamps so you can kind of skip and scan if you want to watch the oiling or the cleaning. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comment section below. And remember, this video will apply for all the Juki TLs out there, including the 98 model, the original one, the 2000, 2010, TL18, collector edition, all of the TLs. If it says TL and it looks similar to this, it will apply for your TL. Now let's get started on oiling. Oiling. Now this is the topic that most people are scared of because on most home sewing machines you don't actually have to oil them. They're all plastic and computerized. But on semi-industrials and industrial sewing machines, you do have to oil them because there's all metal components. Now those metal components will last much longer than computerized machines, but they do require a little bit of lubrication to make them last forever. So here at Juki Junkies, we've made it very simple for you guys. We love to support and give you all the information needed so you can make sure you have a great experience with your Juki sewing machines, that we have created our own little oiling diagram card that comes with your TLs when you purchase on JukiJunkies.com, so that way you have no questions. This little card is going to show you all the little locations along with how often you should oil it. And how often you should oil it has been a kind of a controversial topic because in the user manual on the Juki TLs, it does tell you to oil it a little too much, or it can be misread pretty much, okay? So what we recommend is every 3 to 4 months, you drop 6 drops of oil. There's gonna be 2 spots here, 2 spots here, and 2 spots in the throat space of the machine. That's every 3 to 4 months, just 1 to 2 drops. Whether you're sewing or not, it's a good idea to do that. Now, if you're not sewing, you could just do it every, let's say you don't use your machine, but once a year, just do it before you sew. Now, if you're using your machine often, you could probably go towards that 3-month line instead of 4-month line on those 6 spots. If you're not using it that often, every 4 months is totally fine. So that's all you have to do for oiling this machine. Now, the most frequent spot, which is indicated on this card, is called the hook. Now the hook is what rotates around and catches your thread and makes that beautiful stitch. So where you put that little bobbin case in, you're gonna see there's a little tiny ledge right there, and you can see the point. That is the hook. The hook is going 1,000,000 miles per hour around the basket, and it creates a lot of heat. So you wanna make sure you drop a little drop of oil on that first little ledge right there, and that is gonna ensure that the hook rotating around the stationary basket is gonna stay well lubricated and running great. And you'll notice whenever it gets dry, it'll get a little louder. You just drop a little oil on there and it's like butter again. So that's how easy it is to oil your machine. And if you wanna watch a little bit more in-depth video on oiling, we did create a full in-depth video where I actually take the machine apart and show you where the oil's going and why it's crucial to not oil too much in these top spots. When you're oiling these machines, a lot of times people will just over oil thinking it needs oil like every 4 to 6 hours or once a day, and that's just too much oil, and they'll drop like 3 or 4 drops in all of these holes up here, and what happens is that oil will start dripping down into areas like electronic components and cause issues. So that's why we recommend our oiling interval of every 3 to 4 months on all of those 6 spots. I want to highlight what kind of oil you should be using on your machine. We recommend the DEFRIX #1 oil. We sell this on our website in small 2-ounce bottles and 4-ounce bottles with a nice little nozzle that you can control your drops as you drop it into your machine. Now it does come with oil and it's in a bottle like this directly out of the box, so you don't really need to buy oil right away. It will last you quite a bit of time. One of these 2-ounce bottles, I would imagine, would last you for a few years at least, because remember, we're not dropping oil in it, but every 3 to 4 months and only 1 to 2 drops. So if you need oil, you can check it out on JukiJunkies.com, and we do recommend all home sewing machine oils. They all work great on these machines. This is just the one that is produced by Juki, so of course we're going to promote it because it's the oil that they send from the factory. So if you're looking for Juki TL oil, you can find that under JukiJunkies.com under the machine care tab. Let's talk about maintaining your Juki TL. Now this machine is my favorite home sewing machine for sure because of how easy it is to take things apart, work on it and clean it and all of that, right? Very reliable machine. So let's talk about how often you should be maintaining it at home and what you should be doing to make sure this machine is running in top-notch shape, and then how often you should be bringing it into a professional to get that really in-depth cleaning that you can't do at home. So what we recommend is, it really is kind of one of those things where it just depends on the projects you're sewing. But what I like to recommend is after every big sewing project, you know, you made a whole bag or you did something, a whole quilt or something of that nature, you might want to go ahead and pop that stitch plate off. When you pop the stitch plate off, it's just 2 flathead screws. You can use your T-screw tool that comes with your machine. If you don't have one, you can check them out on JukiJunkies.com. It has 2 flathead sides. What's nice about it is if you put it like this, you get a ton of leverage to loosen those screws. You can also turn it like this to get a little bit more speed. But what I like to do is I'll just crack them loose, and then you can just rotate them with your finger and you can get them removed very quickly. So what I like to do is every big project you know, of sewing, I'll take off my stitch plate, and once that stitch plate is removed, I'll go ahead and clean out my feed dogs, clean out the thread cutter area. And what I like to use is just a little brush or these cleaning swabs. These are fantastic cleaning swabs because they really grab the lint and pull it off. And when you don't take your machine fully apart, you really don't want to use compressed air because it's blowing it in places that you don't really want the dust and debris to go. So what we recommend is just taking that stitch plate off, and when you do that, you'll see just about how much lint and debris is in there. It's crazy, and you're just going to grab these cleaning swabs, brush it all out, clean it all out, make sure it looks nice and clean, and then you're pretty much good to go in that stitch plate area. Now when you remove the stitch plate, it also removes the little side door, so now you're going to be able to see the bobbin case really good. I like to take that bobbin case out, use that cleaning swab to clean inside that hook and basket area, kind of wipe things down, and then on top of that, what I like to do is I'll even tilt my machine back, and on the bottom of this machine there is a little access door. Now this access door just opens up like this, pops off like that, and now you can literally see from the top to the bottom all the way through. And you can use your cleaning swab to really clean it all out and scrub it all out, and it gets everything nice and clean. Again, I still wouldn't recommend a ton of compressed air unless you're blowing like perfectly straight down from the top, so it's making sure it's coming out of this bottom hole. But if you're blowing from the side, it's going to really push it back in other areas, which is not ideal. So really, the cleaning swabs are the best and most preferred method. And then if you're feeling a little froggy and you want to just take the whole bottom cover off and then you can use some compressed air, you would just take off these 6 Phillips head screws. It comes right off and boom. Now, we don't typically recommend that at home because you're not a sewing machine repair guy, but that's not a hard thing to do, and it'll allow you to access even more to maintain your machine very, very well. So I like to do this every big project, or if you open that little side door and you see lint and debris and it looks a little dirty, go ahead and do this, and it's just going to make your machine run really, really nice. So now that I've cleaned out this whole hook area and feed dog, that's kind of like the heart of the machine, I'll open this little side door here, I'll move my needle down all the way, I'll move my foot down, and I'll just kind of clean off these needle bar and the foot pressure foot bar, making sure that's all cleaned off and clear of debris. And then what I like to do at the final step is I will drop a little bit of oil on a clean cleaning swab, and don't get it saturated, but get it just a little bit moist so you can wipe down the metal parts like the needle bar, the presser foot bar, and just these little cutter assembly here. You can just kind of wipe down on the top. You don't want to have it dripping in oil, but if you just wipe it down with a little bit of oil, it gives it a nice shine, and it also protects it if you're in humid environments from getting any sort of surface rust. So that is a nice little tip that I always recommend. When I'm also cleaning down here, what I like to look for is I like to look at the stitch plate when I remove the stitch plate, make sure there's no burrs or nicks on that stitch plate. Those little burrs and nicks in the hole of the eye where the needle goes can cause skip stitches and all kinds of issues. We have videos going over that, so we'll make sure to link those in the description as well, and we'll kind of talk more in detail on that. But I would recommend getting a new stitch plate if there's a lot of burrs and nicks. Sometimes if it's just one or two, you can kind of file it out with like a little file and some sandpaper. But I would also look into getting the thick throat plate where it has a bigger needle hole so your needle doesn't strike the stitch plate as easily. So those are some of my little tips and tricks when cleaning this machine. Another thing I like to look for is I'll kind of go up here, make sure there's no thread wrapped around my bobbin winder, kind of just give the machine a good wipe down, some all-purpose cleaner on a paper towel and just scrub it, and you can get a lot of little scuffs and scratches out of this machine really easy because it's an all metal frame and it's got a really good paint protective coating that things wipe right off. So now that we've gone over maintaining our machine, let's talk about how often you should be bringing it in for a professional maintenance. So a lot of you live out in rural areas where it's very hard to bring it in for a service, and we totally understand that. But if you're using your machine on a super regular basis, once or twice a week, 3 or 4 times a week, we do recommend doing a full service at least once a year. And if you're only using it once every couple months, here and there for an hour or two, you could probably stretch that out over 2 years. Now, as far as the maintenance goes, you can bring this into any certified machine mechanic. Anybody that claims that they clean machines should be able to maintain and clean this machine professionally because it's really not a super complicated machine. There's literally 2 covers that come off this machine when maintaining it. It's the bottom cover and the top cover, and it's a total of only 8 Phillips head screws. So it's really not too hard to do a full in-depth cleaning on this machine, and really any certified mechanic should be able to do that. So we do recommend bringing it in. If you can't bring it in, you live in an area where you just absolutely have nobody that you can bring it to, send us an email at customerservice@JukiJunkies.com. We might have some options available for you. We do produce private videos and technical videos that might be able to help you out and getting this cleaning done for you. Or if you're interested in shipping your machines into us, you can also inquire about that at customerservice@JukiJunkies.com, and we do have a mail-in service where you can get it professionally serviced by me here in the service center. Another great product that we have actually added to our website is the sewing and maintenance cards that we have. On this card, you'll see you have the Juki TL and the computerized with QR codes to videos on all the maintenance. We also have stickers that come with this. And these little stickers are really nice because what it has here is it's got a section for the last time you cleaned it, last time you oiled it, with dates and when's the last time. And you just stick this on the side or the back of your machine so you can kind of keep up with how often you've been oiling it and cleaning it. Especially with the Juki TL, because you don't want to over oil those top holes. So we have created this, that way you guys can stay up to date and you can kind of remind yourself by just looking at this tag on the back of your machine. I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. If you have questions, we totally encourage you to drop comments down below, send us emails to customerservice@JukiJunkies.com, reach out to us via phone, and if you're passing through the Tampa area in Florida, swing on in. We'd love to show you the Juki TLs and answer any questions you might have. If you're looking to buy a machine or Juki products or even Janome products, make sure to check out Juki or JanomeJunkies.com, and we hope to see you on the next video as we try to post every single week. Give us a like, comment down below, and we'll see you next time.